Hello friends, it's Prajwal Pathak this side and you're watching my YouTube channel PyGuru. Friends, in today's tutorial we are going to create a simple analog clock using the Python and the OpenCV library. So here I am with my script and let me just show you what we'll be building by the end of this tutorial, so you have a basic idea. Okay, so let me just run this once. Okay, so this is our analog clock that we'll be making, and yep, so this is showing the current date and time, okay, along with the day. So it's getting updated with each second. And see, it's based the time is based on our system time. See, it's currently 11:15 p.m, so it's showing 11:15 p.m. Okay, so this is the thing that we'll be building by the end of this tutorial. So let's see how can we do it from scratch. So also the project or the script is available in the video description, so if you are getting any error, or you can simply download it from the video description. Okay, so let's move to the coding part of this program or the clock. Now see, for this you have to first create two files. See here, the first file I have saved it with analog_clock.py, and the second file I have saved it with analog_values.py. okay, so you have to make two files, and remember the file name is important for this particular program, because we'll be importing the contents of one file into another file in a bit. Okay, so remember the file name is important. So see, to make this analog clock, we are going to use two libraries, the OpenCV library and the Numpy library. Now see, how to install this. These libraries are not available by default, not installed by default, so you have to install it. It's very easy to install it. Just open your command prompt and type pip install opencv-python. okay, so this is the OpenCV library, and the next is Numpy. Okay, so you have to just type it like this: pip install opencv-python numpy, and press enter, and it will install these two libraries on your system. Remember, it will require internet connection, so I have already installed it. So let's see how can we import it. You can import the OpenCV library like this, import cv2, and the Numpy library like this, import numpy as np. Now cv2 or the OpenCV library is a computer vision library for Python, using which you can perform computer vision tasks along with machine learning and deep learning tasks. While NumPy is a metric manipulation library, we generally use it to deal with matrices or images. Okay, so it's fast, so generally it is preferred over Python lists. Okay, now let's move further and let's start with the coding part. But before doing any type of coding, see here I have taken the screenshot of the clock that we'll be making. So let's see what are the elements in the clock. First, there is this window, this white window. This is this window, and this is not actually a window, it's an image. Okay, we'll be learning how can we create empty images like this. Then these are dots and dashes. We have to create these dots and dashes. Then we have to create this rectangle and type the text inside it. Then we have to create these three hands, clock hands. Okay, this one is the hour end, this is the minute end, and this is the second end, where these three will be moving and the rest of the things will be at rest. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. So first of all, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create this empty white image. So let's see how can we do it. See, an image is just a normal matrix. Okay, you can see generally you see images with some item in them, like elephant, like a selfie. In selfie there is a face of a person. In images there can be elephant, apple, anything like that. But how do computers interpret it? Basically, for computers, an image is simply a matrix, okay, filled with pixel values. Now a pixel consists of three values: the R, G and B. These all three are known as channels. So there are three channels in a pixel: the red channel, the green channel and the blue channel. Each channel value has a minimum, each channel has a minimum value of 0 and the maximum value of 255. And using the RGB channels you can create any color. Okay, so let's see first of all how can we create an empty image using Python. It's very easy. You have to create a variable like this. I am giving it a name of image. Okay, the next thing that is you have to do is using the NumPy. Inside the NumPy library we have a method called zeros. You have to use this. Now what is zeros? Basically, if you just pass it like this, 3,3, okay, pass a tuple like 3,3 and print image. So simply what it will do, it will print a matrix, 3 by 3 matrix filled with zeros. See, it's printing a 3 by 3 matrix filled with zeros. Okay, similarly if you pass here 500, 500, so it will print a 500 by 500 matrix filled with zeros. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to create an matrix of 600, 600, and then I'm going to pass one more value here, that is 3. Now what does this 3 means? this means that we will be having three channels in our image: the red channel, the green channel, and the blue channel. Okay, each channel will be having the value as 0. Okay, so each channel will be filled with 0. The next thing that you have to pass is a data type. So you can pass it like this: d type equals np dot uint8. Now images in Python can be created with the data type np dot uint8. Uint8 stands for unsigned integer 8. Okay, now see, all these values will be integers between 0 to 255, and they will be positive. The pixel values will never be negative, so that's why unsigned. Okay, unsigned stands for positive values, where assigned stands for both positive and negative values. Okay, so here we are using unsigned. Now the next thing is, we have created this image. This is how you can create an image. Basically it will create a 600 by 600 image. The next thing that we have to do is, we have to learn how can we display images. So we have created the image using Numpy library, but we have to display it using the OpenCV libraries. It's very easy. You have to type cv2.imshow. Okay, imshow is image show method using which you can show images. First of all, you have to create a window here. You can give your window name anything. Just type a name, and this will be your window. Okay, so I'm passing clock, so my window name is clock. And then you have to pass the matrix that you want to display. So our matrix is image variable. The next thing that you have to do is, you have to type cv2.waitkey. Just leave it empty. I'll be teaching you what this means in a bit. And then you have to type destroy all windows. Okay, cv2.destroy all windows. Now here in this line imshow, we are creating a window clock with the name clock, and in the last line we are destroying this window. Basically it will free the memory from free the RAM. So it's necessary, it's not necessary, but it's a good way to put it in the last. Okay, so you just put it like this. So here we are creating a window, we are displaying the image in this window. Then we are waiting for some time. Wait key means the window will not be closed until and unless you click this type of cross key on the window, and the destroy all windows will destroy the window that we have created from here. So let me just run this program and let's show you what it does. See here, we are getting a black image here. Now why black? Because as I said, a pixel value can have a minimum value as 0 and the maximum value as 255. If the value is 0, color is black. If the value is 255, the color is white. Now we have since we have filled the matrix with zeros, all the pixels with zeros, that's why this image is of black color. If you want to change color, it's very easy. You can do something like this: image. Okay, this is known as slicing in Numpy, and then you can pass the blue, green, red values. Now see, generally normally the image channels are interpreted in RGB format, that is the red, green, blue format, but in OpenCV images are interpreted in BGR format, blue, green, red format. So the first value that you pass is the value of blue channel. So I'm just going to pass it as 255. Then the green channel is 255 and the red channel is 255. So let me just run this program, and basically it will now create a this type of window. Okay, basically image white image, because we have filled the image, all the pixels of the image, with 255. Okay, you can do the same thing using a line called image.fill255. okay, image.fill255, and you will get the same result. One more thing, using this way you can give your image any color, but using this fill method you can only give your image either 0, either black color or white color. So if you want black color, you have to pass 0. If you want white color, you have to pass 255. But this method, if you just pass any value of BGR, the color will be that. For example, let me pass 200 here, and let me pass 190, or let's say 90. I do not know what color I am going to pass. Okay, and let's say 65, and let's run this program and let's see what color of image we are getting. So see, we are getting a blue image color. Okay, so this is how you can create different color of images using these values. Just remember, it's a BGR value, not RGB value. Okay, so blue, green, and red. Now the next thing that we have to do is, let's go to our screenshot and let's see what we have to do. Now we have to create these dots and dashes. Basically it's a concept of what we call the parametric equations of a circle. Now see, the image that we just created, let's suppose this is the image that we created. As I earlier said, this is just a matrix. So here we can just interpret it like this: this is the height of the matrix, this is the width of the matrix. The height you can also call it as a row, the width you can also call it as a column. Okay, so generally we know that matrices start from here, so this point will be 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, like this up to the 0, width of the image. Similarly, this will be the 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0 up to the height of the image. Okay, height, 0, like this. So basically this is just a matrix. This what we are going to do, we are going to just select a point somewhere on the image. Generally I will be selecting the center of this image, okay, like this, and then based on this center I'm going to create a circle. See, this is if you just see this is simply a points on the circumference of the circle. Now how you can find the coordinate? See, in OpenCV basically all the steps works with coordinates. If you want to draw a dot here, you must know the coordinate of this point. If you want to draw the dot here, you must know the coordinate of this particular point. If you want to draw this line, you must know the coordinate of this starting point and the ending point. If you want to create this line, you must know the coordinate of this point and this point, like this. Okay, so in OpenCV nearly everything works on coordinates. So we need to know the coordinates. So first of all, we are going to find out the coordinates of these points. Okay, see, in a clock there are total 60 points. I am including these dashes too, which represent the 60 seconds, okay, or the 60 minutes, whatever you can say. So we have to find out the coordinates of 60 such points. So let's see how can you do it. For that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to my this particular file, analog values. Now inside this file I have already imported 3 modules, the import CV2, import time, and import math. These 2 are available by default. Then I have created dictionary called colors, and inside the dictionary I have stored the BGR values of few colors, like the blue color has the BGR value 255, 0, 0. Green color has the BGR value 0, 255, 0, like this. Okay, now basically what does this mean? You do not need to remember the BGR value of each color. You can just copy paste it from internet. Okay, however you can just copy paste this dictionary too. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to create a function here called def, and it will be get ticks, like this. Inside this I'm going to create a list called hours init, which will be an empty list. Now see, again what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a variable called radius. I want the radius of circle is 255, 250. Okay, so see, since we have to create a circle, we need to know the radius of the circle. You can define the radius anything, and then I'm just going to create a select a center. So you can select center as anything. I'm going to select a center called 300, 300. Now see, our image is of 600 by 600, so 300, 300 will be the center of that image. Okay, so moving further, what is special in these texts? Basically the angle between these two texts is 6 degrees. Okay, so we know that the angle between these two ticks is 6 degrees, and there are total 60 ticks or 60 dots, so the total angle is 60 multiplied by 6 equals 360 degree. So a whole circle is of 360 degrees, so there are 60 dots, so the angle between them will be 360 by 60 equals 6 degrees. Okay, so we are going to use this concept. So for I in range 0, 360 with an increment of 60, see how to use the parametric equations of circle. Now I have a complete detailed video on parametric equations of circle. If you do not able to understand what I'm just going to do here, you can just refer to that particular video and you can learn it in detail. Okay, I'm going to create a variable called x coordinate. Now the thing that I'm going to do here is a mathematical term. Okay, it's not a programmatical term. So this if you want to find out the coordinate of anything of, let's say, this particular dot, first of all you need to know the center of your circle. So we already know the center of our circle because we have defined it as 300, 300. Then you need to know the radius of the circle. You can give the radius as anything. Then you need to know the angle which this particular point is making with this, let's say, this positive x-axis. Okay, we need to know this theta. So how to know theta? Actually we have just getting it from here, 0, 360, 6. Okay, so the formula for the parametric equation formula, or the parametric formula for the x coordinate of a point or lying on the circumference of a circle is this: center, remember, center 0 plus radius multiplied by math dot cos angle I. Okay, so our angle is I, so I'm just going to pass it like this. And then the y coordinate will be center 1 plus radius multiplied by math dot sine. Am I missing something? Oh no, sorry. Okay, so math dot sine I. Now this cos and sine are defined inside the math library or the math module. Okay, then finally what I'm going to do, I'm just going to append these two values in the hours init list that we have created here. So how to append it? It's very easy. I'm just going to append it in a tuple form. So you can append it like this: x coordinate. So let me just copy paste it, control D, control C, paste it here, and then let me just paste it here once again, but this time it will be y coordinate. Okay, finally what I'm going to do, I'm just going to return this thing. Okay, so return hours init. Now we have created this function inside the analog underscore value.py, but we are going to import it inside this file. So how to import it? Like this: from your file name, my file name is analog underscore values. Okay, values, import from here, from this file we are going to import two things. First, this color dictionary and this get text function. So how to do it? First type your dictionary name, your colors, and then function name get text, like this. Okay, we have done it. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to call this function. So for this I'm just going to create another variable called hours init in this file too, and call this function get text. You have to use parenthesis here. Now basically this get text function or the hours init list that we have created here is storing 60 coordinates. Okay, coordinates of 60 points. So we are just going to plot those points on the image that we have created here. So how to do it? First of all, I'm going to apply a for loop on this hours init list for I in range length of hours init, like this. Then the next thing that we have to do is you have to call this method called cv2.circle, cv2.circle, and then you have to pass the image that you want to draw circle on. So our image name is image, so I'm just going to pass the image here. Then you have to pass the coordinate of this particular point, okay, where you want to draw the circle. So I want to circle on hours init I. Then you have to pass the radius of the circle. So I want the radius is 5. Okay, basically we are talking about these circles. Okay, these are dots, so basically these are circles, but here it's looking like a dot. So I'll be telling you how to fill color inside it. So hours init I, and then this is the radius of the circle, and then you have to pass the color. So let's say I want color as black, okay, or gray, whatever color you want, you can just pass it. Suppose I want gray, so I'll just pass it here, colors gray. Now see, colors gray, we have defined it here in this file. Okay, where is the gray? This. So we have defined the bgr value of gray in this file, but we have imported this colors dictionary in this file, and then just pass -1. And let's just run this program and let's see what happens. Here we are getting an error. It's because my fault. You have to convert this thing into integer. We haven't did it, and so let's convert it into integer. And then we have to fix one more thing. So before that, let me just run this program and show you, then only yep. So see, we are getting the dots on the image, but these dots are not equally distributed because of a problem called with the this math.cos and math.sine functions. Basically they consider this angle in radians, so we have to convert this angle into degrees before we can pass it to these functions. So how to convert a radian into degree? Just multiply by it pi by 80. So math.pi multiplied by math pi by 180. Sorry, my fault. Then again math.pi and then 180. If you run this program just once again, your circles or the dots will be filled like this. Okay, so these are distributed now. Looks good. Okay, so these are distributed equally now. The next thing that we have to do is see the image. We have to create this ticks, these dashes. These dashes mean there's a number over here. For example, this is 12, this is 1, this is 2. We know that. Okay, so that's a very simple logic that you can apply. But before that, you have to find see. As I earlier said, for circle you just need to know the center of the coordinate of the center of the circle. But for line, you need to know the coordinate of the starting and the ending point. So we need to know the coordinate of the ending point too. Here we already know the starting point from the previous list that we created, but we need to know this point. So for this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more thing list here called hours dest, which will be again empty. Then let me just copy this and let's paste it here. Everything will be same except that instead of multiplying it with radius, I'm just going to multiply decrease a radius a little. So radius minus 20 and then radius minus 20. Okay, something like this. And yep, it looks good now. But instead of hours in it, we are going to append it in hours dest, and then we are also going to return the hours dest list. Okay, so everything will be same, nothing new to change. Again, I'm going to create a variable called hours dest here and call the hours dest function. But before we have to sorry, you have to call it like this: hours init and then hours dest. Okay, because we are returning two values, so we have to create two variables so that each value can be stored in it. Okay, the logic that we are going to apply is, if a number is divided by 5, okay, if I is divided by 5, then we have to create a line, otherwise we have to create a circle. Just as simple like this. So if I mod by 5 equals 0, then we have to create a line instead of circle. So cv2 dot line, the first value it takes is the image that you want to draw a line on. Then it takes the initial point of the line, which is stored in the hours init I, and then it needs the final point, ending point of the line, so which is stored in the hours dest I. Then it need to know the color, so color will be colors black. Again, we have imported from this dictionary. Okay, it's defined inside the dictionary, particular dictionary. And then you need to pass the thickness of the line, so I have passed 3 here. Then inside the else, we are going to pass it like this. Then so let's run this and see what happens. Yep, so it looks perfect now. We have created these dots and dashes. The next thing that we have to create is we have to create this rectangle and put the date and day inside it. So let's see how can we do it. Let me just close this application here. Here again, I'm going to create another function now called def. The function name will be, let's say, get date, like this. Now see, inside the datetime library, first of all, I'm going to create a variable called dt equals datetime dot datetime. If you want to know the current date and time, you can just apply this datetime dot now, and now let me just print dt and show you what it does. So for that we have to call this function, then only I will be able to show you. So let's call this get date function. Basically it's print the current date and time. So the current date and time is 24 July 2020, and this is the time. See, keep things in mind. First of all, it's printing the date in reverse, and then it's printing the time in 24-hour format. Okay, so this thing you need to keep in mind. Then I'm just going to extract day from it. So if you want to extract date, represent these numbers into strings, like what date is, what year is, what month name is, what time it is, we can use the string format time method on it. If you want to know more about strf time, you can learn about the date time documentation. But here what you have to do, you have to just type it like this: dt.strf time. This is a function or a method which you can apply on date time object like this. And then see, I just want day which this particular thing is representing. So today is Friday, so I want Friday from it. So how to pass just pass it like this. %a represents the day. Okay, so let me just run this and it will print now the day. Okay, so it's printing Friday now. Okay, looks good. Now let's extract date from it. Okay, because we need to show date also. We have got the day, we also need the date, but in this format. First the month name, then date, then year, separated by a comma. Let's see how can we do it. dt.strf time, and here the string that you first pass is %b. %b will give you the month name, but in half. Okay, it will not give you the full month name. If you want the full month name, you can just pass %B. For example, for August it will just give you AUZ, not full August. Okay, if you want full August, just pass %B. Okay, then I am going to pass %D, which stands for the date. Then I am applying comma, and then I am going to pass %Y. Now %Y because I want the full year. So let's print day comma date, and let's see what happens. Basically it will print the date and the date, July 24, 2020. Everything looks good. So instead of printing it, I'm just going to return it. Okay, so let's just return it and remove this line from here. So for this we have to first import it. So get text and get date. Wait a minute. So I just went to drink some water. So we have imported this function from this file into this file. Okay, so we are just going to call it. So I'm just going to create a variable called day and then date, and just call the function called the get date function that we have just created. And yep, just like this. Now before putting the text on this image, we need to create this rectangle. So let's see how can we create this rectangle. It's very easy. See, you learned how to create a line, you learned how to create a circle. Now let's learn how to create a rectangle. So cv2.rectangle, this is a method that you can apply, or a function that you can apply. It takes the first the image that you want to create rectangle on. So our image name is image, so I'm just passing image here. Then it wants the coordinate of this point and the coordinate of this point. Okay, coordinate of two opposite points of the rectangle, then only it will be able to create the rectangle. So I have already tried and tested the coordinate, so I know it what the coordinate will be. 190, 170, this is the first tuple, and the second tuple will be 430, 205. Okay, if you want, you can just change these values. Okay, you can just try changing different values and see different results for them. Okay, so to 65, and then I want the color to be gray or dark gray, whatever you want. Dark gray, again dark gray is defined here in this file. So dark gray. Okay, this is the color or the BGR value of the dark gray, and then I'm just going to pass -1 here. Now this the last value in the line, circle and rectangle is the thickness of the line, or the thickness of the line, thickness of the circle, thickness of the rectangle. But if pass -1 here, it will just fill the color inside that circle. Okay, here we have passed -1, so the whole rectangle will be filled with dark gray color. But here we have passed positive value 3, so this will be defining the thickness of this line. But if you pass -1 here for circle and rectangle, it will just fill the color inside that particular shape. Okay, so yep, it looks good. Now we have to put text on it. So how to do it? cv2.put text. Okay, so first of all I'm going to pass it will first take the image that you want to write text on, and then it will take the string that you want to write. So first of all, see here in the image we have written the date, so I'm just passing the date string here. We have written the date from this function that we have just created. Okay, so and store it in the again the date variable, and then it will take the position point where you want to write the text. So I want to write the text on 220, 200, and then you to pass 1, 2. Okay, and then colors which will be let's say light gray. The next thing that you to pass is cv2.line AA, line underscore AA. Okay, just like this, and let me just copy this line and paste this line once again. So image, but this time we want to write day, and the point will be 220, 250, 250. Let's say 250, 250. Everything will be remain same. So let's just run this program and let's see what happens. If everything goes fine, we should be oops, we are getting some type of problem here. So let's see what is the problem. Let's go here and let's see what is the problem. So it's dark gray. Let me just copy this thing, okay, and paste it here. Everything looks good. Then why so? CV to dot line AA 250 220 comma 200. Why aren't we getting the correct result here? We should be getting it. Let me just run this program once again and let's see what happens. Again we are not getting the output that we want. So for this, oops, okay, so here is the fault. Actually I have to pass 1 here. I am not passing the thickness of the line. Okay, so now it looks so good. It should look good. Yep, it's we are getting the correct output here. So July 24 2020 and then the Friday. Now see, the text is not something looks good, which is, so what you can do, you can try aligning test as per your wish. If you want to shift the Friday a little, you can just increase the X value here 260 270 and it will shift the Friday in the right direction. Okay, so you can just play with the values. So we have created a text. The error was we were not passing the thickness of the line. This is the line type, this is the font face, and then the font scale. Okay, you do not need to know what is font face and font scale. Basically font face is the font family that you want to write, and font scale is the size of the text. Okay, so we have created the rectangle, we have created the dots and dashes. The final thing that we have to create is these lines, these three hands which will be moving, which will actually be moving. The rest thing is at rest. So before doing that, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to create a while infinite while loop. So while true, we are just going to put it like this. Okay, and I'm going to create a variable called image copy, or you can give it any name. Once again, let me just see what I have given this name, image original. Okay, so just like it like this, image underscore original equals image dot copy. Basically what it will do, it will create the it will copy the image that we created in another variable called image variable dot image variable image original, sorry. Okay, and then I'm just going to display the image original instead of our image. Okay, and here I'm going to pass 1, and let me see it once again. So yep, it looks good now. And 0xff equals 27 and then break. Oops, sorry, break. Okay, tab break. What does this mean? Now let me show you what does this mean. We have to put this line outside the while true loop. Okay, basically what does this mean? Currently we are closing our window by clicking the cross button. Okay, but here after this line your window will not be closed after the by the cross button, but it will be closed by the escape key. 0xff equals 27 means the window should only be closed when you press the escape key. Now what is 1 here? Basically at after every 1 milliseconds our image will be redisplayed. Okay, so the current window will be the current image will go off and the new image will be shown after every 1 millisecond. Okay, so if you just leave it empty, it means that if you want to show the image infinitely until you do not press the cross key. But if you pass 1 here, it means that you want to display the image only for 1 second. But since it's an infinite while loop, your image will keep displaying until and unless you click the escape key. Okay, so this is the thing that we have did. The last thing that we have to do is we have to create one more function here. Now this function is the main function that you need to put a little attention on. So def draw time. Basically this function will draw the time, and here it will take an image. Okay, this function will take an image and draw the 3 hands on them. So for that I'm going to create a variable time now, and inside the datetime library datetime module again we have a datetime class. so datetime class, and then we have a method called now that we have just used here, and then you can just extract time by using the time method on it. So just use the time method like this and it will extract the time. Remember here we were getting both date and time, but here if you apply dot time method it will just give you the time. Now we have to extract hours, minutes and seconds from this. So hour equals time now that we've just created. We are going to first of all apply the wait a second, time now dot hour. Okay, it will give it will extract the hours from it. And then the next thing that is to we have to remember, if you remember, the hour was in 24-hour format. The time it was printing was 23 something. Okay, so we need to convert into 12-hour format. So how to do it? It's very easy. Math.fmod, which is a function inside the math library, just give it a mod by 12 and it will convert from 24-hour to 12-hour. Okay, then minute equals time now dot minute. So time now dot minute, and then seconds equals second equal time now dot second. Just do it like this. Okay, I hope you understood it. It's very easy. Basically we have extracted the hour, minute and second from the string that we were printing here, okay, initially. And the next thing is you have to find out the angle of these things. Okay, now see, hour, minute and second, they always subtend some angle too on the clock. So if you want to find out the angle which the second angle, minute angle or hour hand make with the x-axis, this is pretty formula for it, just you can use. So I'm going to use second angle, which is my variable name. So here is the formula: second multiplied by 6, okay, plus 270 comma 360. Basically we are going to give again a mod, so something like this: math.fmod second multiplied by 6 plus 270 comma 360, and it will give me this angle that the second hour will make, or the second hand will make. So let me just paste it, this. Then we need to find out the minute angle, and let me just paste it here, and then we need to find out the hour angle. So it's something like this. Let's just paste it. Okay, so here instead of second it will be minute multiplied by 6 plus 270 comma 360, and for hours it's little different. You have to do something like this: hour multiplied by 30 plus a minute by 2, I think, something like this. If I just remember it correctly, just let me check it once. Okay, so hour multiplied by plus minute by 2. Let me just copy this. Okay, this is mathematical formula. Okay, so you do not have to worry about it. Just write it like this, and then modding by 360. So if you just print second angle, and for example second angle, print it like this, and let me just call the function draw time. So let me just show you what this thing will do. Basically it will print the angle that the image. Okay, so let's pass just something here, let's say a. So now it will not give the error. Okay, so see, it's saying the 138 degrees. Okay, so our second angle at the point when we run the function made 138 degrees with the x-axis, positive x-axis. This is how you convert an value into an angle. It's different for both second, minute and hours. Okay, do not worry about it, just write it like this. The final thing that we have to do is we have to create what we call sorry, we have found the angle. Then we have to again find out the coordinates of these 2 points, the coordinate of this point and this point. Okay, so it's very easy. We actually know the coordinate of this point. This is actually the center, we already know it. We just need to know the x and y coordinate of this point for our end, x and y coordinate of this point for second hand, and x and y coordinate of the minute this point for the minute hand. So let's see how can we do it. It's very easy. So how to do, I'm going to do it like this: second x, okay, which is the x coordinate of the second hand. So it will be something like this: center 0. Remember this formula. Let me just copy it. So let me just copy it and paste it here. So it was center 0 multiplied by radius multiplied by the blah 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 blah. So yes, just wait a minute. See, here one more concept, the basic concept of clock that you should know. In a clock, the second hand is the has the largest length, followed by the minute hand, then the followed by the hour hand. So the hour hand has minimum length, okay, while the second hour is maximum length. So we have to simulate these two. So what I'm going to do, instead of multiplying with radius, I'm just going to multiply it by radius by 25. So basically I'm just decreasing the length of the line, okay. So int center 0 plus radius minus 25 multiplied by math.cos, instead of I it will be second angle, and then math.pi multiplied by math.pi divided by 180. Everything looks good. So let me just copy this line and paste it once again. So second x, instead of it will be second y, instead of 0 it will be 1. It will everything will remain same, only that it will be sine function here, okay, not cos function. The next thing is you have to create a line. So how to do it? We already did it. So let me just copy this line here. So cv2.line, see the image we are passing. So we are just using this image. Then instead of hours in it, it will be just you to pass center, okay, center variable, and then instead of in this point you to pass this thing, second x comma second y, and then you can define the color. So I am going to use for second I'm going to use black color, let's say, and let's pass the thickness as 2. Okay, everything looks good. Let me just copy these 3 lines and paste it twice. It looks good. What I'm going to do, instead of second it will be minute. So where are these things? Let's just change these things, okay. Everything is same, so we do not have to change everything, but these things only. So minute, okay, make it minute, and the color will be what is the color? Let's say I want amber color. And finally you to change this value too, okay. Instead of 25 I'm just going to subtract let's say 60, and then let's do it for the hours and 2. So where are hours? So this thing and this thing and this thing. So let's just make it hour from second hour, okay. Finally we need to change subtract 100 from it, and then instead of draw time, let's just return the image that we have just called. Basically what it does, this function basically takes an image, draw 3 lines on them, okay, and then returns the image. So what I'm going to do, something like this, let's say clock face. I'm going to create another variable called clock face, but before that we have to import the function that we have created here. So my function name is draw times, so I'm just going to import it, draw time, and then clock face equals draw time, and it will take an image. So I want to pass image original, so let me just pass image original, and let's just run this program. Let's see what happens. We have gotten error here, cv2.wait key, okay. So here is the error, if cv2.wait key, okay. So everything looks good. So only thing is we have to change the thickness of the lines, okay, and the color of the line too. So everything was fine. So let's make its thickness as, you can again give thickness as anything. So I'm just going to give thickness as 3, thickness 7, and we have to make it as amber. So our clock is complete now. Let's just run this program and let's see. Yep, so this is our complete program that we had to create for this tutorial. Yeah, I hope you understood this. This was quite basic. We just used some mathematics along with the OpenCV library to create this clock. Okay, basically what is happening here, we are just sending an empty image, not an empty image, a white image with these dots and dashes and this rectangle to this function here, and this function is drawing 3 lines on them and returning the image back to here, and then we are displaying it, okay. But again when we reach here, the image original gets reset, because we are making an image dot copy from here that we have defined here. We have created few dots and dashes here, then we have created a rectangle, put some text here, and that's why image original is getting reset at this point every time. Okay, so that's why we are not getting merging of few lines here. And yep, so this is it. I hope you understood it. It was quite basic, so I hope you learned something new. So if you learned something new, leave a like or a dislike. If you are new to my channel, subscribe it for more such OpenCV videos. Thank you. See you in the next video.